Ilan ilan ba'ame'avorechecho. So, welcome on this amazing day of Tu B'Shvat. It's been a minute since we connected this way or anyway. I'm sure everybody is deeply immersed in their personal evolution and trying to, at some point it's not necessarily an intentional, once you go down the slide, at some point you're just sliding, you're just, skiing right down the mountain. It's no effort has to be put into it. It's already set in forward motion. So, so enjoy the journey. And every now and then, every then and now, which really that is where it all starts, and the purpose of it all is we get to a place that we have a moment of realignment, a moment of awakening, a moment of a breath of fresh air, a moment of realization, recognizing what it is that who it is that we are, what it is that we're doing, and kind of like getting a moment of purpose, meaning, connection, and that comes with das. Das is understanding, awakening, consciousness, being aware, awareness. These are all very, very powerful moments in our journey, because there is the part of us that is echad. Shema Yisrael Shem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. It's all there, the beginning and the end, the center, and everything around is just is. And then from that place of is, because of creation, we're manifesting from that place. And the majority of the time, we are living from a place of ha'ara, which is a shadow of a shadow of a shadow, which is that there was a stone that was thrown into the river, to the lake, and then there's a ripple effect. So most of the time, we are operating from the ripple effect. A ripple effect from our doings, a ripple effect from our creator's doing, which is our parents or school, whatever it is that the process is. But every now and then, so which means that most of the time we are, we're projecting, and what I see is what I'm projecting, and what I'm projecting and that I see, that makes me become. Because what I see in the mirror, that's how I feel. If I look good in the mirror, then I feel good about myself. If I don't look good, then I don't. So I show up a certain way in front of the mirror. So the mirror shows me what I am. So now I become that, and now I see that. So it's kind of like I'm trapped. I can't change anything because I can only project what I see, and I see what I'm projecting. So we have different times in the year that there is a pause, and we're going into a deeper, which means that we are being projected onto. And I can be projected onto, but not necessarily am I able to take it all the way to the core, which means that you tell me something positive and I stop it right here because I have my judgments about myself. I'm not able to really take it and really believe it. I'm still doubting it. I'm spinning on it. But sometimes the projection is, both of them are aligned. The stars are perfectly aligned. The person is open to receive, and the projector is, the mashpia is coming from the deepest place. So therefore, that's why we're able to receive, because it's coming from a higher place. It's coming from a core, so it hits the core. So we have, and different times, different solo, different Yom Tovim, it hits on different angles. Pesach, it's Ava, Sukkot is Tzira, and then go into the Sukkot Bina. And then we have, they're like Tu B'Shvat. And also one more thing is, the big Yom Tovim, the big days are the 15th of the month. Why the 15th of the month? As we know that the 15th of the month is where the Levana, the moon, is at its full glory. And usually the moon is gravitation, it's gravity, so it pulls. So if the moon is and we are connected to the moon, and if the moon is at it's fully open, so we are also fully open, so we're able to receive. And when we're fully open, and we're being projected from a place that's fully open, that opens us up to, we are able to go, it touches something very deep and very true within ourselves. And when that truth is being triggered, something opens up, something is born from that, a different reality shows up. That's how we went out of Mitzrayim on the 15th day of the month. We went out of Mitzrayim. Why the 15th day? Because until then, the projection was coming, but we were blocked. We weren't able to receive that message fully. But now that it came from such a deep place at the 15th of the month, that it hit our true core, and when it hit the true self, the true essence of who we were not slaves. We are light. That is a very high. That's connected to the highest source, and automatically it changed the scenery immediately. It changed the click. We found ourselves out of Mitzrayim. Went from slaves to princes, sons and daughters of the king. So the Rebbe explains in the Sikha, he's talking about the difference between seichel and the middos, the intellect and the attributes, the feelings. So he's explaining that seichel, my intellect, I can have an intellectual, I can understand something intellectually, but really, I'm not really up to it. You can see a lot of people that are very well learned and they understand a lot, they're big scholars, they have deep understandings, but in their own personal life, they are not they're totally not where they need to be. But my middos, my feelings, that is connected to the core, which means that I'm responding the way where I'm at. That's how this is. You can't feel something and act a certain way. You are, that's what's happening. So so we have Adam Ke'etz Asada. We are resembling to the Etz Asada, which means that the same way that we have the four elements, everything, a person is a little mini world. We have all whatever is happening out there is happening within us. So we have the four elements of Eish, Ruach, Mayim, Ofer, fire, wind, spirit, water, and earth. And then we have Doimim Tzemei Chaim Medaber, which is the Doimim is the stone, the part of it that is just Netzachoy, that just has no consciousness, no understanding. It's just doing. My foot is I can put it in, walk with it, and it just does what I tell it. It doesn't think. There's somebody just thinking for it. That's not its purpose is not thinking. It doesn't know how to think. And then we have the tzameach, which is the part of us that the tzameach is the vegetable that grows, and that is reflecting within us back to us, which is the middos, the attributes. They're aligned with the tzameach. We have the chai, the living part on us, and then we have the madaber. The madaber is the part of us that's able to speak. It's a program. It's a part of the program. It's another addition in the program, an upgrade. Just like in the Tesla, you have upgrades, the part that the car can drive by itself. So too, we have an upgrade within the system that is able to speak. And within the level of speaking, there's programs that are more expensive programs. There's the speaking a language, and then there's speaking the language that creates, the language that everything else it's behind, that's running the program, which is Lashon HaKodesh, and we are speaking that language. So, and the whole Tu B'Shvat is a time that we are Isser Sham Leilana. So we have the tree has three parts to it. It has the actual tree, it has the branches of the tree, and then the fruit that comes out of the tree. The fruits, they can only live at certain times of the year. Some fruits live on the tree in the summer, some fruits live on the tree in the winter, but it's not all seasonal, except for the esrog. It's not all seasonal, which means that it is it's an evolution that comes from the tree. It's an evolution from the tree, and therefore it's a creation, a hilada, something that's born out of the tree. So that is not really what the tree is. It's not the core of the tree. It's a child. It's an offspring from the tree. But the actual tree, the core of the tree, which is connected to the source, it's not the intellectual part of the tree, that is always there. In the winter, in the summer, it's always connected because it's connected to the source. And in the source, the tree is staying true to its core. It doesn't move, it doesn't change. That's where it's at. So the true essence of the tree is always there. It doesn't move around. It's always connected. So too, in our intellectual part, that is that it has its times, it has its seasons. Today I'm like this, in the winter I like, and then I'm more in the summer I smile more. But when it comes to the etzem, the core, and that is being affected, influenced by my outer surroundings. Depends where I'm at and what climate I'm at, the people I hang out with, if I was in a good circle or not, depending on how I feel about it. Sometimes you come back from go out and you don't feel good, you do feel recharged. But at the core of who we are, that is our attributes, the middos of who we really are, the flow, the code that's running within us, that is goes back to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, which they too are referenced as Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes. Avraham, Yitzchak, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, and when we're going, and that is always connected. That is always there. Now, throughout the year, it's a struggle to connect to that because I am kind of like responding to what's happening around me, and we're limited to how deep you can go within yourself when you are being distracted by what we need to do. We have work to do over here, so we're getting out there and we're getting, the filter has to be clean. But today is the time that the Rosh Hashanah says that which means that the trees are being seen. That's what we said in Rosh Hashanah also. Rosh Hashanah is not the time of judgment, is how do I process my judgment? It's where the king is thinking of this thing right now. All he has to do is think, he has to bring his attention to it. And when he thinks of it, and when he's bringing his attention to it, which means that all the force and all the hashpah, the what's being put out is being focused on this one item, so it's blessed. And today is a time where the Rosh Hashanah Leilana says that the trees are being looked at, which means that the Tzameich is being looked at, which means that the Middos, the attributes, are being looked at, that's being paid attention to in the Prat in a particular way. And when it's being looked at in this particular way, then it's being recharged. So what do we do? How do we align and make sure that we're tapping into an intentional sweetness, an intentional positivity, an intentional tapping into opening up ourselves to be able to be, while we're being seen from this very specific place, to be seen into this specific place. Since this is the time of the year that we're being seen and looked at, that cuts through all the branches and the fruits, but we're going to the core of it is by eating the fruits. That's how we channel the energy. That's how we're connecting to the energy. We're eating the fruits. We'll make the brachas on it. We'll do the blessings. And with that, we're speaking the language of creation. And when we tell somebody, you're amazing, and you're amazing, and you're amazing, then the person responds from that place because he's being seen from that place. So he's being looked back from that place into that place. So we do the same thing with the fruits. The fruits are different Shivas Aminim, 7 Middos, the 7 attributes. And we're blessing it, so we're being looked at, it's being looked at, the fruits, the core of it is being charged. It comes from the tree is being recharged, the source is being recharged, and the father and the parents and the children are connected. Their whole existence is the children are their creators look at them. So the trees are being looked at from the source. The fruits are connecting to the trees because that's their source of what they receive. So, and we are ingesting that. We're taking that in, and that it's recharged, and it has the codes of the blessing, and it goes into the blessing of Tu B'Shvat, of their Rosh Hashanah, and we're ingesting that, and that is connecting to gives us the source, the koyach, to recharge our middos. So in other words, the middos, the attributes, it's a spiritual thing. It's something that it's ruchni. It's not something that's physical. However, it comes since we are coming in all the way here in the lower realms where things are coming packaged in fruits and peels, and it comes in layered, and the energy is being captured. There's a way of how the energy is able, this duva ruchni, this spiritual aspect is able to come into a physical, it manifests into physicality. So that is by eating that, we're able to take this ruchni, there's something that is beyond, something that's tangible, and by eating the fruits, we're connecting to that part of it, right? We're connecting to the spirit of the fruit into our spirit, and connecting to the spirit of the tree, which is taking us back to the core. In other words, there's an opportunity here to really see life for what it is. At some point we get caught up in the branches and in the fruits. We get caught up in our egos. Our egos, not in a bad way, but an ego is how we view self. I view myself based on the image that I see. I view myself based on the pictures that I see, based on the story of what life is telling me, when really I'm the one that's telling the story to life. I'm creating my life, but because I'm stuck I'm projecting, I'm being projected at. So we're stuck in a certain bubble, and we're not able to get out of it. By going into the true essence of self, hitting the reset button, I'm able to let go of the imagery that my mind is projecting, that my intellect is telling me, which is disconnected from the true core of who I am, says the Rebbe. Because I can think and I can be an intellectual, but I'm not there at all. I'm completely not connected to that, to the source. But on Tu B'Shvat, there's a time that we're able to go into the real self, the self that is the true self. That because when connected to the truth, it can survive all the seasons. The tree is always there. The branch of the tree is always there. It's the offsprings of it. The intellect of it that is changing. That is something that can take me. I can be living in a space that is absolutely not me. That has nothing to do with me, and I'm trapped in that space. I can't get out of that space. Tu B'Shvat, and the 15th day of Shvat, is the time that we're connecting to the core, we're connecting to the source of who we. It's connected to its source, and it's connecting us to ourselves of who we really are. So it's an opportunity where the whole what's it called? The whole pyramid that we built, this whole illusion, the whole structure that we have in our heads about how my life is and how my struggles are, feeding it and nurturing it, that whole thing is collapsing. That whole thing is falling apart, and we're going into a place of the center of, to our center, to going into the place of who we really are, who we really, what we represent. Chesed, Gevurah. In other words, just to be content with self. And also in the winter is a time of hibernation. Remember that we are receiving from the earth, we're being recharged. As we walk on the ground, we're being recharged. That's why if you fly in a plane too much, the body gets exhausted. You need to be grounded to touch the ground. Electricity is generated as we walk, and that recharges the body from the bottom, and then from the top as we walk, we receive from the upper heavens, from the upper spheres, and the higher vibrations we're receiving through the brain, through the head as we walk. So the actions are causing friction and static that recharges the body. In the summer is a time where there's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of we're out and we're blossoming already. We're at the stage of the fruit of the tree. In the winter is where it's all going into the bare core of the essence of the tree. Everything is frozen to the core. It has to go really deep underground where it doesn't freeze. It has to go below freezing level. When you go into below freezing level, which means that a lot of fluff, a lot of projections, in the winter they die, right? As I say, there is no, you're not going to find any of these protests out there from this, from whatever is going on, from the clipper that's happening out there. When it's 8 degrees outside, everybody's home, everybody's tucked in. There's no time for that. There's no time for the color and for all the other stuff. It's time. People are real, because when you're cold. Like this person that was interviewed. He said that he was from all the stuff that he did. He went to deep sea diving, and then he climbed Mount Everest, and then he went into space. And what else did he do? There was another thing, that one of these crazy things. People that are adventurous going into to find to connect to that part of themselves. But he said when he climbed the Mount Everest, there was no, you see dead bodies, here or there, and there's no time. People are they run out of energy, and they're passing out. He's like, there's no time to think about anybody else. It's so cold. It's survival. It's you and yourself. There's no time to think. No time to be anything else but the core, but to go to the core. So in the winter is that time where there's no time to. It's just about going to the core. It's about a lot of that fluff is just frozen, because when my projection of my offspring of my center is here, then it's projecting another projection, another offspring, another illusion, another fantasy, another false imagination that's being taken on a ride. But when everything is frozen and all the fruits are off the tree, and I have to go into my center core, then it's me and me. It's crunch time. It's really this is what the hibernation is about. This is where we're letting go. We're shedding everything, going deeper within self, And today is the time that we're able to, they're coming up for air, like where you break the ice to come up for air. We're connected to going into the center it's a moment of, in the deep, when everybody is distracted with themselves, then you're able to, and nobody has time to look at you, to project on you and take you into different and different turning points. You're able to go in to really find yourself for who you really are. And that is the celebration of today, the Rosh Hashanah of today. It's a beautiful time. And also we'll make a Shechiyanu. So since we're doing the Minig Yisrael today, we're taking a fruit and we make a Shechiyanu, really make a Shechiyanu for the time of the year. So we're using an excuse and a physical, making a Shechiyanu on a fruit. But technically speaking, we're making a Shechiyanu for the light that we are connected to, the space that we're connected to. It's coming through the fruits, and that's how we have an excuse to make it tangible. We're bringing it in, not just leaving it in a place of ruach. We bring it into the place of tzemeach, and into the madaber, into projecting it in and around us. Yeah. So also there's a lot of as we're going through a process, when we encounter, we're in connection with people, sparks are taken from us and we receive sparks. We go back and forth, and sometimes we pick up sparks that are that person is getting rid of, and that person has as an upgrade, and then you're receiving those sparks, and you have to be mavada that, align yourself with those sparks. So with food, when we're eating the foods that has sparks in them, and it fills the void, it elevates it through sleep, through eating, so on and so forth. Today is the time that we're recharging where all the sparks are going up, because you're going to the core, you're going to the source, and when you're at the source, you're able to nurture and nourish all the offsprings and all the fruits at its highest point, because it's the 15th of the month. Everything is open and it's receiving from the highest place, because it's being judged today. So you have the triangle going to the trees to us, the moon, and then we're receiving that into the bodies, into the attributes. So there is a beautiful, deep elevation today in full color. Enjoy this time, and there should be a true deep alignment and understanding. There should be an awareness. That's really what it is. There's a centerpiece at the core. The center of the person is the spine, right? So you have the center, you have the keser, you have the das, you have the yesod going into malchus. So that is the whole alignment. And when there's das, then you're free. That's where it's at. Das is the key to golden. Have an awesome day. Chaim Lebracha.